Monday, May 15th, and we do have a quorum, so I will call this meeting to order. We have one board member who will not be able to make the meeting tonight and is participating virtually. So all votes will be taken by roll call. And for tonight's meeting only, I will be serving as board chair in place of Chair Allenberg, and I am board member Julie Green. First up, we have the approval of our agenda for tonight. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Second.
We will now vote by roll call to approve tonight's meeting, or tonight's agenda.
I think you have to be on mic now.
Allenberg?
Aye.
I can't see her.
She was up there.
Well, how about if we keep on going?
And just continue.
Birdman?
Aye.
Gabler?
Aye.
Green?
Aye.
Neville?
Aye.
Shaw?
Aye.
Great. Tonight's agenda is approved. Dr. Stanley, will you please review tonight's agenda for us?
Absolutely. We're really excited about Excellence in Action to hear more about the SSEP program from this past fall and into the winter. We have a consent agenda. We have several discussion items, including an update on our Edina virtual pathway, our dual language learning, Spanish immersion learning program, STEAM update, assessment plan, and then we have a few action items related to comprehensive literacy, talent development, student travel, some policies that we are bringing forward from the policy committee, and then we will return to the work session from earlier.
Great. Thank you. So first up, we have our Excellence in Action. It's so exciting to have you guys here. Tonight, we will be featuring the winners of the Student Spaceflight Experiments Program Mission Patch Design Contest. And we have two students here that are with their art teachers. So I will just go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Shannon Stephen. I'm the art teacher at Cornelia, and I really appreciate getting a chance to be here in front of the board. My student Winston Lobbs is here, and he was the elementary winner of the Mission Patch, and Sophie Tejan, who won the high school level, or the upper school level, and then her art teacher, Dalen Town. So just a quick review, the SSEP, for those of you who don't know, is a program that is put on by NASA in order to kind of celebrate the moon landing. And so it's been going on a few years because we're past the anniversary. But basically what they did was offered to school children an opportunity to invent or create different science projects that would be hopefully taken to space and tried there. So experiments. Next slide, please. So in our district, 3 high school students won this experiment, the science side of it. So Edina High School seniors Josh Cram, Colin Shaw, along with sophomore Grayson Irons. So they created a project that centered around growing food in space. And then on the elementary or in the high school level, the second arm kind of this was an art project. So they were to design a mission patch that kind of represented the celebration of the moon landing. So we held 2 mission patch competitions, one for elementary and one for secondary. Students in 5th through 12th grade were tasked to make a mission patch for the Mission 17 to the International Space Station. So they were invited to use their mission patch competitions to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Apollo landings on the moon. Next. Next slide. So these are the elementary finalists. 4 of our elementary schools participated in this activity, and so there are 3 patches from each of the schools. And the students voted, and voted for the final winner, who was Winston. And then the high school finalists, I don't know if you have anything you want me to say specifically about that. But
For each of the 2 middle schools, the students voted on their top 3 choices, and then the high school voted on their top 3 choices. We had all of the students who participated in the design to a group of 9, and then the students re-voted.
Yep, and so final slide shows our 2 winners. On the left is Winston, and Winston's a 5th grader at Cornelia Elementary. And on the right is Sophia Tejan, and she's a senior, right? Yeah. So it was just such a fantastic experience for us to have a real life opportunity to design things for something that's actually requested and interested. And so their designs actually go to space. And so they will be receiving them back in official packaging that says that it's been to space, which is so amazing. Yeah, so we really appreciated it.
Excellent. That is so great. Thank you. I would love to hear from Winston first. And if any other board members have questions, jump in. But I would love to know, how did you start this design process? Like, what were you thinking when you were putting it together? What was going on in your mind?
I found like a picture of something and I used that for reference, and then I kind of just worked from there.
That's excellent. It's great.
Could you maybe talk a little bit about the key elements in your design?
So the astronaut obviously in front, and then the moon in the background, and then stars.
Yeah, it's true.
That's great. And Sophia, can you tell us a little bit about your design and where the inspiration came from?
Yeah, I believe the theme of the whole thing this year is like progress. So I did the kind of the arrow around the earth, and I did it in green, kind of for like an environmental twist on it. Yeah.
Do any board members have, go ahead. Director Gabler?
Yes, Sophia, I have a question. So they said you're a senior. Do you see yourself using art beyond when you leave the walls of Edina?
Yeah, I'm going to Madison next year, and I'll probably double major in environmental science and art, so hopefully I will combine them.
Wow, that's awesome. You can add this to your resume. Yeah. So congratulations to both of you.
One more quick question. Have we thought at all about, are we producing these patches in any way, shape, or form? I understand you're taking one up to space and it'll come back to you, which is great. But have we thought about, as a fundraiser or something like that, to produce these patches and sell to our Hornet community?
That is a great idea, Director Bergman.
I just mean because I actually have the original patches from the Apollo missions because I used to collect them as a child. And so when I see something like this, I remember what it was like to sit in that chair. So that would be really cool if that's something we might consider. Congratulations, it's really awesome.
Thank you, guys. Next on our agenda is hearing from members of the public, and tonight we have no members of the public that would like to make a public comment, so we will just move right on to the consent agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to remove from the consent agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We will now vote by roll call to approve the consent agenda.
Chair Allenberg.
Birdman,
Aye.
Gabler,
Aye.
Green,
Aye.
Neville,
Aye.
Shaw.
Aye.
The consent agenda has been approved. We are now going to move right on to our discussion items. So our first item up for discussion is the programming update for EVP dual language immersion, and STEAM programming. So I will invite up, who's coming up? Okay, I'll let you guys introduce who is coming up.
Good evening, Acting Chair Green, Superintendent Dr. Stanley, our school board members, community staff, and students. We are excited to present to you this evening an update on some programming work that we've been doing this year, specifically around Edina Virtual Pathway. That'll be the first portion of the report. Then the Spanish Dual Language Program, and then we will end with the STEAM work that a number of our teachers and administrators and teaching and learning staff have been focused on. Stephen Cullison, is sitting next to me, our coordinator of Edina Virtual Pathway, and I'll turn it over to him in a moment. But part of what we want to articulate is that through these reports, these are ways that we're trying to articulate and describe evidence for how our district is advancing Strategic Initiative A, the advancement of excellence, growth, and readiness. And so we'll talk a little bit about how that plays out in Edina Virtual Pathway, how it has played out in Spanish Dual Language and in STEAM. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Stephen to give us a high-level overview of what's happening with Edina Virtual Pathway.
Good evening. Thank you very much for this opportunity to talk about Edina Virtual Pathway. We try to provide a brief but detailed and informative report. In that report, as this evening, there's a balance to be struck between acknowledging the things that are going very well, taking pride in them and recognizing them, but also taking a moment to consider the areas in which we need to improve. Among the things that are going well, online at the elementary and secondary programs, we are providing education with characteristic Edina rigor. And we're providing that education often for students who may be unable to attend in person, who are more comfortable and learn best at home.
Mr. Cullison, I'm going to have to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. We are having an audio issue, so we are going to need to recess the meeting for 5 minutes. Is that correct?
They just need to restart.
They just need to do a quick restart. So if you could just pause, that would be great.
That was just practice. I'll do it even better the second time.
Okay, so we are going to move into recess.